The stage lights burned hot against Emily's skin as she gripped the podium. Her voice steady, but her heart pounding like a trapped bird. To the man who showed up every day, who drove me to practices and waited in the rain, she said. Eyes locked on Michael in the front row. Her stepfather since she was 7. The crowd erupted in applause, cameras flashing like fireworks in the California sun. But in the very back, almost lost in the sea of folding chairs, Robert, her biological father, rose slowly. His clap deliberate, his smile quiet and unbroken. He hadn't been invited, hadn't been mentioned. Yet there he was, applauding as if those words were his lifeline. Emily froze for a split second, the microphone humming in the silence between cheers. That moment should have faded with the tassel toss. But it didn't. It cracked open a door she'd never known was locked, revealing years of edited truths, hidden letters, and a family built on borrowed credit. The ceremony wrapped up under a sky turning golden, families clustering for photos like magnets drawn to joy. Michael posed proudly, his arm around Emily's shoulders. Neighbors calling him Dad of the Year as if it were etched in stone. Susan, her mother, dabbed at her eyes with a tissue, whispering how perfect it all was. Emily smiled through it, but her gaze kept drifting to the edges of the crowd where Robert lingered, hands in his pockets, not approaching but not leaving either. He caught her eye once, nodded subtly, then turned away as Susan pulled her into another hug. By evening, the viral clip hit Emily's phone. Someone had captured the speech, panning to Robert's solitary stand. Comments flooded in. Awkward much? Dude thinks he's the hero. That's gotta sting. Emily watched it loop, her stomach twisting. Why did he clap? She hadn't said his name, hadn't thought of him in years. Not really. Susan had always painted him as the ghost who vanished after the divorce, forgotten birthdays, missed milestones. But that smile, it didn't match the story she'd been fed. The next morning, hangover-free but heavy with unease, Emily met friends at a diner off the freeway, the kind with sticky booths and endless coffee refills. As pancakes arrived, her best friend Lena slid her phone across the table. Girl, you're trending. Graduation dad fail. The video had exploded overnight, memes sprouting like weeds. Laughter rippled around the booth. But Emily stirred her mug, the spoon clinking louder than her thoughts. It's not funny, she muttered finally. That's my real dad. The table went quiet, forks pausing mid-bite. Back home, she scrolled deeper, the internet's cruelty sharpening into questions. Wait, why's the bio dad even there? Feels off. Emily replayed her speech in her head, the line about showing up for the quiet moments. She'd meant Michael, the reliable one, the one who'd signed permission slips and attended parent-teacher nights. But Robert, had he shown up too? In ways she never saw? The doubt gnawed like a loose thread, pulling at the fabric of her memories. Digging through the garage that afternoon, ostensibly for old yearbooks to pack for college, Emily's hand brushed a dusty box labeled Kid Stuff. Curiosity won over caution. She pried it open, expecting faded report cards. Instead, a stack of envelopes tumbled out, bound by faded string. The handwriting slanted, precise, was Robert's. Her breath caught. The first one, dated her 8th birthday. Proud of you for that spelling bee win, kiddo. Wish I could have been there to cheer. A photo clipped inside, her on stage. Gap-toothed grin. How did he know? Envelope after envelope. Year by year, encouragement for soccer tryouts. Notes on her art projects. Even a dried flower from a field trip he'd somehow attended from afar. 13 in total. All addressed to her. All unopened. Susan's voice echoed in her mind. He forgot again this year. Sweetie, Let's not dwell. Lies. Not forgotten, intercepted. Emily sat on the cold floor. Letters scattered like confetti from a ruined party. Fury building slow like storm clouds over the Pacific. By dinner, the box was on the kitchen table. Envelopes fanned out like evidence in a trial. Susan walked in, apron tied, humming some old tune. She stopped dead. What are you doing with that? Emily's voice was ice. Why didn't I get these? Susan's face paled. But she recovered quick. Like always. He wasn't reliable. I was protecting you. From what? Love. Michael entered then, sensing the tension. His salesman's smile faltering. What's this? Emily shoved a letter his way. Proof he never stopped trying. Dinner turned silent. Forks scraping plates like accusations. That night, Emily photographed every page, creating a digital vault named The Hidden Years. Not for revenge, not yet. For armor. Weeks blurred into unpacking dorm boxes at UCLA, but the unease followed like a shadow. One evening, sorting scholarship papers, Emily stumbled on an old essay draft on her laptop. The original line about enduring silence with grace had been about Robert. A rare nod to the man who'd faded from her life. But the version history showed Susan's edits. Focus on Michael, he's the visible one. Her chest tightened. The submitted essay, the one that won her the Merit Award, was a polished lie. Digging deeper in family files under the guise of FAFSA tweaks, she found a $529 college savings plan statement. Not in Michael's name. Robert's. Contributions starting from her infancy. Quietly compounding. He'd funded her dreams while Michael took the photo ops. The betrayal burned hotter now. Not just omission, but theft of credit. Confrontation came over coffee the next visit home. Emily laid the documents out like a hand of cards. You let me thank Michael for everything. But this is Robert. Susan sipped slowly, avoiding her eyes. We thought it best. He agreed to stay quiet. Michael chimed in. Voice placating. I was the one there day to day. But not the one paying. The air thickened with unspoken resentments. Emily left without hugs. The door clicking shut like a final punctuation. Michael's response was a glossy photo album, left on her doorstep with a note, the family we built. Inside, curated snapshots, him at her games, vacations, graduations. But as she flipped, anomalies glared. Robert cropped from backgrounds. His arm around her in one old shot now airbrushed away. It wasn't memory, it was manipulation. Emily's pulse raced. She printed her original speech draft, the unedited one honoring Robert's quiet endurance, and placed it beside the album with a sticky, my words. Not your script. The party Michael threw next sealed it, a fatherhood appreciation barbecue in their suburban backyard. Banners proclaiming the man who showed up. Guests toasted him, quoting her speech lines he'd repurposed in his toast. But the date? Robert's birthday. Intentional slap. Emily slipped away mid-clink. Heart hardening. She posted her first truth, an old photo of her and Robert at a park. Ice cream melting on their hands. Caption, the quiet ones matter too. Likes poured in. But so did messages. Wait. Michael's not the hero. Then the mail bomb, a loan guarantor form listing Robert as sole signer for her dorm and books. Not Michael. Despite his boasts. A quick call to the financial aid office confirmed it. Robert's credit. His risk. Emily confronted them in the kitchen. Papers slamming down. You forged his shadow. Susan stammered. Michael deflected. We didn't want to confuse you. You wanted the glory. She photographed it all, adding to her folder. The audio file arrived anonymously via a USB, Susan's voice plotting. Let her think Michael handled it. Robert won't fight. Michael's laugh. Good optics. Proof of conspiracy. Emily's world tilted. She forwarded it to Robert, then played it over speaker to Susan and Michael. Their faces drained. "Don't destroy us," Susan pleaded. Emily's reply, "You already tried to destroy him." Revenge unfolded methodically. She published her unedited essay on a blog, the version they erased. It went viral. Alumni magazines picking it up. Everett's Father of the Year nomination tanked amid disclosures. His job audited financial inconsistencies, a line of credit he'd opened in her name using Robert's details. Defaulted quietly. Susan resigned from community boards, citing family matters. Emily didn't gloat, she documented. Visiting Robert. She found a gift, a camera. Bought pre-graduation. Note, capture your truth. He didn't demand thanks, he just listened. Emily started a podcast. Edited out, reclaimed stories, her voice steady. Unveiling layers of betrayal without naming names outright. The cost? Fractured family ties. But freedom from their script. In the quiet after. Robert's text, proud. For once. Applause felt earned, her own.